The D&D LEGO minifigures have recently just retired. One of the standout minifigures of this series was the Dragon Knight Paladin. I recently picked up a few more, so today I want to show you my Blue Dragoons LEGO army. The first minifigures that I have are these two Blue Dragoon soldiers. These minifigures are made mostly out of Dragon Paladin parts, but I've also given them each a newer style longsword and a full face helm with matching blue plumes. You can't see their faces unless I remove the helmets, but if I do, they have well-groomed faces and alternative hair pieces. It would be cool to get a load of these minifigures and make a large army, but I'll have to see if I can find any more minifigures to be able to do that. Next I have three knight minifigures. These minifigs are very similar to the soldiers, however the one difference is that they don't have helmets. Instead I have given them head and hair combinations only. In my mind, these knights are skilled enough warriors to not need to worry about protecting their heads. Speaking of heads, I have used these three confident looking face prints to get across that these knights are ready for arms and have many a year's experience on the battlefield. These minifigures haven't been changed much from the original CMF, but I think that they look really good and bring some much needed depth to my army. Hopefully I'll be able to get some more regular soldiers and then these knights can lead them into battle. The next Blue Dragoons minifigures I have are these Royal Guards. These figs are less of soldiers and more designed to protect any important minifigures who may need it. For the first minifigure I have used a white motorbike helmet with moving visor topped with a white plume from the Series 12 Battle Goddess. I have paired this with a white cape from Moon Knight and a large pike to fend off any enemies. Like most of my minifigures, this guy is mostly derived from the Paladin, but the combination of other parts like the cape and pike help him stand out as someone important and a skilled combatant. For the other guard, I have used a dark blue cape from the Falconer and a darker grey pike. I've also used a motorbike helmet with moving visor for this fig, but this time in grey. On top of this helmet, I have used a blue dragon plume from the 1990s Dragon Master minifigure. This piece works super well with Blue Dragoon's theme, and I really like how it pairs with the bright blue of the shield and makes this a standout minifigure. I like to think of the Blue Dragoons as wealthy, so I would have liked these two guards to match, but I didn't have enough of all the same pieces to do this. However, I've also decided that maybe one of these guards is younger and thus white, as he hasn't completed enough trials yet, and the other has been longer in the service and so has blue accents to show his rank. So for the leader of my Blue Dragoons army, I have made this Queen in Royal armor, and let me just say I am really happy with this minifig. To make her stand out, I have used this 1990s blue dragon shield from the original Dragon Knights. This shield matches really well with the other minifigure shields, but stands out enough to show off this minifigure as the leader of the army. I've also used the sword of Godric Gryffindor from Harry Potter as a royal blade for this minifigure. I was originally using the gold sword from the Series 13 King, however I prefer the matching look of silver and silver. It would be better if it had blue diamonds in the hilt rather than rubies, but they're only a small detail, and even match the small amount of red on her shield. As this minifigure is so important to my army, I have given her this sparkly blue cape from Vitruvius and a white ruff. I couldn't fit this over the original Paladin armor piece, so I've used this armor piece from the Series 9 Knight instead. This also helps identify her as the leader as she stands out when next to the other minifigures. I've used this hair helmet piece from Jane Foster, and I love how it transforms this minifigure to a royal heroine and the obvious leader of this army. So that is all the minifigures I have for the Blue Dragoons. However, I also have a small sub-faction of Green Dragons. The first minifigure is the leader, and he uses a torso from a Kingdom's Dragon Knight and the legs from Tartan Batman. This minifigure took me a while to perfect, but I'm very happy with him. The standout feature is this retro green dragon shield. I love the old design, especially because it's green, but also because it ties in directly with the Blue Dragoon's Queen's shield and makes it more obvious that the two factions are interlinked. The next minifigure is this spearman. For this minifigure I have used the torso and legs from the Bear Knight along with a fur collar. For a weapon I've used a pearl dark grey spear and a Kingdom's Dragon shield. This minifigure is simple enough, but I think he came out very well, and I think his rougher looking face helps distinguish that the Green Dragons are more fierce than the Blue Dragoons. The last dragon minifigure I have is this flag bearer. He also uses a Bear Knight body, and I think it works well for a Green Dragon sub-theme. On his back he's got a brown and green backpack, as not only does he carry this faction's flag, but also their goods. For the flag itself I've used this large retro Dragon Knights banner, which is maybe realistically a bit too large to be a small travelling company's flag, but it is the only size I've got, and overall still works really well. So that's my full current LEGO Dragon army. Hopefully I can expand it in the future, but that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed seeing it, and I'll see you next time. Pieces.